And welcome down to Kingsway Reserve for this round 13 match in the NPLW Western Australia between the hosts, the Northern Redbacks, and the visitors, Perth SC. I'm Sean Fry. I'll be calling the action for you today. We very nearly had an exciting title race to bring you. However, the earlier victory today by Murdoch University Melville means that unless we have a dramatic goal difference swing of about 20-something goals, Murdoch University Melville will be our NPLW WA champions for 2020. But still 2 games to go for both of these sides. And we'll focus on the action here today at Kingsway Reserve as the referee, Jess Bird, does the coin toss between the respective captains of the Redbacks and Perth SC, Sean Billam and Jamie Duncanson. A mixed bag of a season so far for the Redbacks, it's fair to say. Conrad McKelvey's side have shown the ability to mix it with the best of them. I've had some wonderful wins this season, including against today's opponents. Back in round 6, a 1-0 win with Lauren Continabali scoring the only goal on that day. And Perth, as we mentioned, so close to pushing league leaders Murdoch University Melville all the way. They're a winning run from round 7 to round 11. 5 wins in a row over NTC, Fremantle, Subi, the soon-to-be crowned champions, Murdoch University Melville, and Balcatta. Had them back within smelling distance of the top of the table. But then a disappointing loss last week against Curtin has brought that title challenge, one would think, to a hold, unless we see some scores the likes of which we've never seen before in the NPLW WA, or probably in football around the world. Jessica Bird blows her whistle and Perth SC get us kicked off. They are wearing their traditional sky blue, the Azuri, attacking the right of screen. The Redbacks in the red with a bit of black trim, attacking the left of screen. As they get our first attacking move started, the ball over the top, but Emily Henderson back to deal with that one for Perth. Despite the loss last week, just the one change to the Perth side. That went down 2-1 against Curtin. Nadia Harvey coming in. Castillo Burgess out of the squad. Jessica Byrne dropping to the bench. A lot of changes, a lot of injuries for the home side here. The Redbacks have had 5 players dropped from the squad that played last week. Katie Moth, Renee Leota and Kizan Mulder all out with injuries. Emily Dunn and Asta Mulu, the other 2 dropping out of the squad. Good news on the injury front is Lauren Continabali back in. As I mentioned, she was the scorer of the only goal the last time these 2 sides met, as Jenna Onions fields that throw down to Henderson. And here's Abby Meekins, tries to little Cruyff turn, but too crowded of an area, lost the ball. Onions over to scramble it back and see it out for a Redback throw. As I was saying, Continabali has been struggling with a hamstring injury. She is back in the side today. She'll be wearing number 12 for the Redbacks. Let's Perth just clear it again for another throw. For Sarah Carroll. Back out to a teammate, looking to just dance her way around a couple. Can't get past Abby Meekins. And Meekins finds the ball now. Looking to play it forward to Liana Cook, but it's intercepted. But Katie Holtham will resume service for Perth. She has Cook inside her. She has a runner outside, and she goes for that runner. It's Testaleo. Burning down the left wing, looking to get a ball in with the outside of the right foot. It's into a dangerous area. Cleared, but only as far as a Perth player in Katie Holtham, and her strike is the first shot of the day and brings a reasonably comfortable save from Morgan Aquino. The ball over the top is just skims off the top of the head of Nadia Harvey, the one inclusion to this Perth side that I mentioned before. And she was doing her best to prevent Kontinabali the ball in an attacking area. Georgia Cawley plays it back to her centre half. And the Redbacks just settling into possession. It's Carroll playing it back for Cheyenne Wise-Jarvis. Georgia Cawley interested there just for a second, but Perth can clear. Oh, lovely ball dug out by Zoe Spadano there into the path of Henderson. Henderson has Liana Cook running inside. She's got Meekins a little further on. She goes for Meekins, who fires. And again, straight the hands of Aquino. Scored a stunning goal earlier this season against Balcatta. Did Abby Meekins from even further out than that effort. As Holtham looks to just muscle off an opponent. Plays it back for Meekins. Spadano looking to play Henderson in behind. Just get a chance to maybe fire one on her left foot or get a ball into the box. She opts for the latter. It's over the head of everyone. And the Redbacks can scutter away. Carroll plays it back. Here's the other Carroll, Kim Carroll, leaving it for her goalkeeper. Straight up the middle for Georgia Cawley, back for Kim Carroll. Her clearance down the line is cut out by Spadano. Nice touch from her for Cook. She'll get it back, and heavy tackle by Cheyenne Wise-Jarvis, but all fair in the eyes of Jess Bird, the ref. As Harvey makes her way forward to take this throw. Looks over the head of Holtham into the box. Cook touches it back. Holtham back for Cook. A little heavy, and attempted to clear there is Bennett. Eventually the Redbacks do get it away. Kontinabali losing possession there, and Harvey taking over. Back for Jenna Onions, a fellow Albany import. She goes over the top to the captain, Jamie Duncanson. Her ball into the box is an absolute peach right onto the head of Liana Cook, and I think she just got it all wrong there, and the ball may have just hit her in the face rather than the forehead. I don't think it was contact with a player. I think it was purely a mistimed header. Glorious delivery from out on the left there from the skipper, Jamie Duncanson. Could not ask for a better cross, and I think Cook, if anything, probably just found herself with a little more space and time than she would have been expecting. And couldn't turn her header on goal. It was a Liana Cook header 2 weeks ago that made the difference in their Perth's 1-0 victory over Balcatta. That was a Jamie Duncanson delivery as well on that day. So those two very nearly hooking up again to break the deadlock here. Score stays at 0. Here's Carroll. Under pressure from Cook. Eventually gets it down the line. Spadano got the last foot on that, or at least from where I was standing, looked like she got the last foot on that. It will be a Perth throw. Harvey to take it. She looks long for Cook, who nods it down. to Betty. Betty squares, looking for a teammate, but the Redbacks clear. It's been a good start for Perth. It's all the action down this end. Certainly not showing any disappointment in the title race being ended earlier today by Murdoch. Certainly still a lot of pride to play for over these last couple of games as Harvey looks to throw it long again for Cook. She's been a good target on those throw-ins. As Meekins was expecting a little run, or perhaps she was trying to feed it into the path of Betty. Either way, she'd slightly overhit it. Aquino rolls it out to get the Redbacks started again. Very limited opportunities in the Perth half of the pitch so far for the Redbacks. Cooley trying to find a teammate there. And that's back at the feet of Rebecca Bennett. They've been an interesting team, the Redbacks, this season, certainly in terms of their goal scorers or their spread of goal scorers, as that ball just runs over the line. The Redbacks will throw it in. And 15 goals over their first 12 games, and of those 15 goals, only 3 players have scored more than one. They have 11 goal scorers across the board for the Redbacks this season. Kontinabali, Bennett, Carroll, the 3 with 2 goals. And then we've got Moth, Douglas, Wise, Jarvis, Mulder, Billum, Walsh, Ridley, Corley, all with 1 apiece. Very rare to see a side with such a wide spread of goal scorers. It's obviously a good thing if you look at it from the perspective that they're not over-reliant on any 1 or 2 players to get them the goals, but if they did have a spearhead or 2 that could score double figures, I'm sure they'd be in a higher position on the table, as that ball into the box is straight onto the chest of the Redbacks keeper. Be interesting to see today if the Redbacks do score. Will it be a new scorer? Might have to have a look through the list and see who's left. As that ball into the box from Betty is too low and cut out at the near post by Carroll. Harvey for Cook. Not enough legs on the throw, that one, so the Redbacks can come away with it. And Bennett just looking to dribble out of trouble. In the end, had to enlist the help of her teammate. And now she'll get it back from her teammate from the throw. Bennett looks to turn dangerous ball into a dangerous area. And Meekins just nipping in and cutting it out, but her touch was a little heavy. Perth maintain the pressure. Here's Spadano. She gets it robbed, but does well to put in a tackle and keep Perth in possession and on the front foot. Harvey will look long for Cook again. Back out and back in Harvey's hands. She will look for Cook again. This time she cushions it down and back for Harvey. That ball a little wayward. Cleared by Carroll, and the Redbacks can take it away through Sarah Carroll. Lauren Kontinabali run into trouble under pressure from Spadano. And Harvey rolls for Holtham. Duncanson. Cut out and a chance for the Redbacks to launch a counter-attack. Sarah Carroll looks up, has no runs ahead of her that she likes the look of. So the Redbacks start again. Just happy to play a bit of possession there. Bennett dropping in and playing a 1-2. Nice and high press from Perth there, not allowing any easy possession, even in their own half. That one flicked around the corner, but Onions was alive to it, and she plays Holtham. Cook looks to dribble around a couple. Redback toe in there, wins it back to the keeper. Carroll with a bit of time. Looks long and just goes over the head of Douglas, that long ball, and Perth settle in again. Henderson for Duncanson. Around the corner for Holtham. And Perth could be through here. Henderson is onside and she's away. She's got Cook inside. She's got Betty arriving at the back post, but scrambling over and making a tackle there was the Redbacks defender, just in time. Throw in to Spadano. She looks to bring it back over to the near side. DeLeo carrying the ball forward, looking for the feet of Holtham. That one gets cut out, but comes back to Harvey. Betty down the line, back to Harvey. Just looking for a little flick around the corner there, the Perth midfielder, but giving possession away. Perth win it back so quickly as they so often do. Holtham looking for Betty down the line. Betty does well. Little 1-2, gets it back. Tries to get a ball into the box. Carroll got a touch on it, but it falls for Duncanson, whose acrobatic effort ends up straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. But all the chances have been down to the right of screen so far. The Redbacks yet to really get out of their own half in these opening stages. Spadano down the line for Duncanson, who turns it around the corner, but straight to Carroll, whose clearance is straight to her opposing centre half in DeLeo. Her ball forward, one there in the air by Cheyenne Wise-Jarvis of the Redbacks, but her header was straight back to the Perth defence, and they'll settle in. They've had all the ball and all the chances so far, but the score remains 0-0. It's a wonderful ball from Abby Meekins there for her captain. Duncanson will look for Betty in the box. It crosses blocked and recovered. And the Redbacks clear. And Sarah Carroll unable to hold the possession. You really need your striker to be able to bring those in when you're under pressure. She'll want to do better with the next one. Harvey does well to get a ball down the line. Betty does well to control it and get it back to her. Holtham joins the duo and makes the triangle. Keep possession, back to DeLeo. And Perth can reload and go the other way. Onions for Henderson. She's got Duncanson down the line, and stepping in and cutting that out well was her opponent. Throw in taken by Spadano. Her ball is cut out, and a chance to set Carroll free, but alive to the danger was Rebecca Bennett, and quickly off her line and out of her box to clear. Cooley with the throw down the line. Looking to win possession there was Bennett for the Redbacks, but Perth come away with it. Carroll will see that one reaches her goalkeeper. And Equino picks it up. And the Redbacks can start again. Coming short and getting it. That's much better there this time from Sarah Carroll. That's what they need from her. And she does well to find the feet of St. Pierre. Haven't seen much of her yet so far today, but she wins her side a free kick and a chance for the Redbacks to at least get the ball near the Perth penalty area. I don't think they've ventured inside it yet at any point today. Certainly not in my memory. But Kim Carroll will launch a ball forward. Numbers getting forward for the Redbacks. Still got a few backs, so certainly not over-committing. Carroll's ball over the top in the direction there, I think, of Sean Billum. Melanie Douglas taking on Duncanson. She does well to get around her, and it's a decent ball into the box, but not enough on it, and Bennett can gobble that one up. Perth get it restarted quickly. Always to feet. Down to DeLeo. Here's Harvey. Confronted by Continabali, so plays it inside, and that's just good awareness from Wise Jarvis there to let that ball run over the line. Just again, the touch of Carroll, just a little sloppy. Here's DeLeo. Holtham, just pressured there by Corley. Harvey back for DeLeo. Perth just settle things down again. Been a very controlled performance so far this half from the Azzurri. They haven't made the Redbacks pay on the score sheet, but they've certainly run them around in circles a bit. And here's Henderson looking to create that first goal into the feet of Cook, but she was under siege rather quickly. And here's a chance for Wise Jarvis to maybe get on her bike and go for a bit of a run. Spadano confronts her now. She turns it inside, I think looking for Carroll, but it was a little bit behind her striker. So no blame on the Redbacks number 2 for that one. But Holtham releases Duncanson. And Perth can go again. And some nice defending there, just stepping in front and cutting that ball out. I think that's Andrea Teixeira over on the far side for the Redbacks. And there she is, just seeing the ball over the line. Not a huge deal of urgency so far from either side, in truth. A couple of shots from outside the box and a good chance in the header from Liana Cook. The 3 decent chances Perth have had. They're looking for another one here. Cook looking to feed Meekins, but ends up giving the ball away. Chance for the Redbacks to clear, but again, they just give possession away too easily. It's been the story of the afternoon for them so far. As Carroll does really well there to read that one and find Continabali, who's got a bit of space. It's really well done there from Nadia Harvey to get back and put pressure on, but still a chance. That ball forward for Carroll. She almost takes that one down. Gee, that would have been the best touch of the day so far. It's good work from Billam, finding it. Teammate forward there in Bennett, but her strike on goal was handled comfortably by the opposing Bennett. Carla Bennett wearing number 6 for the Redbacks. Rebecca Bennett in goals for Perth. Harvey, nice little dummy there from Betty to keep her run going, but marshalled over there by Wise Jarvis, who now has the ball in her hands. Carroll, good touch this time again from Sarah Carroll. Just showed a little flash there when that ball came through to her, the little flick with the outside of the foot. Just almost came off. Perth will have to be wary of that on the counter-attack there, as that touch from Carla Bennett is a poor one. Harvey will take the resultant throw. She's got Cook again calling for it. She'll go over Cook, and to no one in particular. Carroll wins the header. Bennett plays it for Continabali. She tries to take on her opponent, but loses the ball, but wins the throw. A good tackle from Nadia Harvey on that occasion. Continabali gets it at her feet, flicks it over the head. Carroll just needs to muscle out her opponent. Does well enough. DeLeo got a touch, but Continabali gets it back again. Under a bit of pressure there. Meekins wins it back. Nice industrial work for her. She wanted the ball back there from Betty, but didn't get the pass she wanted. Carroll steps over that one. Perhaps intentionally. If so, very nice dummy. Billam dropping very deep to win that one for Teixeira. Into the feed of St. Pierre and getting it back. A chance to get forward now for Teixeira. She Tries to find Bennett, but her sliding attempt to keep the ball in play doesn't quite get the job done. Onions retrieves the ball for Henderson and may ask for it back now. Although the Redbacks are pressed very high up the pitch, so despite the dominance of Perth, this Redback side not willing to just cede the possession and cede the game just yet. Nice run there from Wise Jarvis, but losing the ball and turning over possession. Decision going against her. To her slight bemusement. A little push in the back there from Betty. She gets away with it. Carroll retrieves. Here's Kontinabali. Unable to dribble past Abby Meekins. And this time the decision goes the Redbacks' way. Wise Jarvis with the throw, but a foul throw. In the eyes of Jess Bird. Harvey's throw looking for Betty this time, but Wise Jarvis stepping forward and winning that header. Back where we started, Harvey's throw in, and again Wise Jarvis just stepping forward and cutting that one out. Perth though do keep possession. Here's Henderson. Looking to take on Douglas. Gets around her and gets the ball into the box. It reaches Betty. She squares it. And Cook just couldn't get it under control, and the Redbacks can clear. Carroll does really well again. This time to hold the ball up. Kontinabali plays it back for Wise Jarvis, and the Redbacks can settle on the ball. Good bit of play from them. Something we haven't seen so far a lot of today. Just the Redbacks knocking the ball about and controlling the game. They're doing so now. Carroll just releases the pressure again for Perth by looking for Bennett on a long ball. Just lacking a bit of creativity and movement going forward at this stage, I think, is the biggest problem that Redbacks are having. Certainly putting the effort in and getting the job done defensively. That ball in behind, looking for Carroll. She does well to get around the charging Bennett. The goal mouth is gaping, but from that angle it would take quite something to find the target. She threw a foot at it. Plenty of blue shirts back to make sure that Rebecca Bennett was not punished for vacating her goal square. But again, the Redbacks just showing what they can do on the break. Certainly if Perth get caught napping, and Carroll just giving Onions, I'd say, something to think about there, just showing, certainly look to have a bit of an extra 5 or 10 yards if they do get a ball in behind. A wonderful tackle there, winning the ball back for the Redbacks by Georgia Cooley. A long ball down the line. Just gives possession back. Good spell here for the home side. Gone close on a couple of occasions. Sarah Carroll has come short on a few. And stayed on the shoulder of the last player on a few as well. Billham does well to win that ball back for the Redbacks, but they've given it away again, and Holtham's got a lot of space. Finds Cook. Cook plays it back for Meekins. A lovely little dink for Holtham. Holtham can play it in behind for Cook. Chance to open the scoring here. Gets a shot away, but scuffs it wide. Just enough pressure. And those two Redbacks defenders. Looked like she was through there for a moment, but Teixeira and Wise Jarvis combined to just put a bit of a sandwich on it. Kim Carroll shares possession with her goalkeeper and now looks to carry forward. Lovely little touch there from Carroll to play Wise Jarvis. Well offside there is Lauren Kontinabali. She didn't really take a look down the line there when she was preparing for that ball. It's an easy decision for the linesman on that occasion. Probably one you don't even need a linesman for. I think Jess Bird could have seen that one herself. DeLeo gets us restarted. Squaring to Onions. She's got Henderson wide. Uses her now. Duncanson further down the line. Abby Meekins infield. Opts for Holtham. Doesn't get to her, but she does well to win it back there. Not willing to give up possession and stripping St. Pierre and feeding Duncanson. Duncanson's ball into the box is over Betty. Cook scampers and wins it. Gets a cross into the box, but into the hands of Morgan Aquino again. Had a bit to do, the Redbacks shot stopper so far in this game, but nothing too difficult. All of the shots she's had at her goal have been rather tame. Half an hour gone and still no change to the scoreline as Onion strides forward and wins it for Duncanson. Back to Emily. Emily Henderson in for Onions. Back to Henderson. Back to Onions again. Harvey down the line for Betty. Back to Harvey. Into the feet of Cook. Good strong striker, Liana Cook. Always looking to hold off an opponent. Bring other teammates into the play. Wise Jarvis with the throw. Carroll again coming very, very deep. Now, it looks like Billum had gone forward for a little. And well done there from Carroll to win the ball back, take a touch and go. Shrugs off Holtham, but her touch is a little heavy and Meekins can recover for Perth. Back to DeLeo, back to Onions. And the Azuri can reload. Onions is going to look for Cook. Cook does well to get in front of her marker and bring it in. The Redbacks recover possession through Bennett. And here's Bennett again, or Billum rather, getting the ball and turning. Does find a teammate, and nice little drop of the shoulder there from Georgia Cawley. Well done. Again from Sarah Carroll, her path just a little loose, but she's done really well to get herself into this game over the last 10 minutes or so. A couple of wonderful touches and dangerous runs in behind the Perth defence. Still no score as Henderson looks down the line for Duncanson. The Redbacks cut it out. Carroll with a bit of green grass in front of her, looking to play it into the path of Carroll, but can't do so. Determined football there from Bennett, I think it was, refusing to give up on possession. And here's Duncanson now for Perth. Bit of space in front of her. Cook decides to drift wide. Duncanson releases her. Bit of space. Closed down now and well closed down. That Redback defence just proving hard to crack. They've had a couple of speculative efforts and that one cross into the box from Duncanson that looked to have unpicked the lock. But other than that, they've been hard to pierce. Those sort of tackles A nice bit of bodywork there from Wise Jarvis, just marshalling Betty under the ball. Carroll back for Aquino, back for Carroll. She doesn't have an option that she likes, so she hangs onto the ball and gives Jamie Duncanson a bit of a shoulder for her troubles. The Perth captain unperturbed and on the ball again here. Good ball there into the feet of Holtham, or the feet of Cook rather. Comes back out, back to Duncanson. This time she looks for Holtham. Cut out by Bennett, and the Redbacks with a chance to go forward, but once again they turn it over. Just a little too rushed on a few occasions when they've looked to go forward, the hosts. Spadano in for Meekins, who releases Onions. Lots of space in front of her. Numbers back for the Redbacks. Duncanson plays it back to her centre half, who'll get a nosebleed if she gets any higher up the pitch. In the end, a final ball letting Perth down. Aquino shares possession with Carroll. Just wait for Cook to press, and then they bypass her. Carroll for Carroll. So Sarah Carroll playing it back to a teammate. That ball around the corner was poor and lets Perth in here. Is a chance for Henderson to stretch her legs. Gets the ball back into the box for Cook, and her shot ricochets back off Kim Carroll, and the Redbacks can clear. Duncanson not letting them clear, but doing throw via a slightly overly vociferous tackle in the eyes of Jess Bird, the referee. Certainly looked to come through the back of her Redback opponent there, so no arguments about the foul. Don't think it looks like there'll be a card of any colour. Just a good honest challenge. Still 0-0 here at Kingsway Reserve. Both sides with their chances. Perth probably with the better of the action. More possession, more shots on goal, but not too many clear-cut opportunities. Probably the best was Jamie Duncanson's cross that found the head of Liana Cook, just as they did 2 weeks ago to win the game against Balcatta. Just about did the same today, well, almost did the same today. The link-up was good, the ball into the box was wonderful, and Liana Cook's header, I think, just came off her face rather than her forehead. So the score remains scoreless. No goals yet. As Lauren Contenabali uses this opportunity to have a bit of a talk with her coaches on the bench. The Redbacks certainly haven't been toothless so far today. Well, fangless, I guess I should say. They have had their opportunities on the occasions they have got the ball and have gone forward. Sarah Carroll started the day rather slowly, but she's got herself into the game a little, and that ball directed for her, but doesn't get over the head of Spadano. Meekins mops up. And indeed, Carroll, a couple of times she's got in behind and once rounded the keeper, but had to push herself a little wide and couldn't get a shot on the goal. And just another one-on-one. Things just didn't quite work out for her as well in this first half. So she's been certainly the most dangerous looking player for the Redbacks so far. But just that final touch, not quite there, as it hasn't been for most of the season. For the whole side, to be quite fair to them. When there's, as I mentioned earlier, 11 scorers, but only 15 goals. Not a single player with more than 2 goals in the league this season. And when you don't have someone converting regularly, you are going to have a hard time putting results together. And that's exactly what they've really found this year. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. Just a real struggle for consistency. And indeed haven't had a win since round 8 against Subi. Of course, Subiaco have been the strugglers this season, right down the bottom of the table. And since that 4-0 win in round 8, they've lost to Fremantle and Murdoch. Obviously, no shame in that. Draws with NTC and Balcatta. So it's been a long time between drinks in terms of wins for the Redbacks. A club that really prides themselves on being competitive, on winning. This season, solidly in mid-table. A chance for them to score here, though, as Carroll cuts in and fires on goal! A wonderful left-foot strike, and the Redbacks take the lead. Well, I had mentioned that Sarah Carroll was looking the most dangerous, and there she goes. It was a wonderful left-foot curler, just over the head of Bennett more than anything, and just had enough dip on it to find its way into the back of the net. And Sarah Carroll becomes the first Redbacks player this season to get more than 2 goals. She's got 3 now. And the Redbacks take a 1-0 lead. They look to play it out down the line via St. Pierre and Teixeira, and they do well. Teixeira down for the goal scorer. Here is Sarah Carroll. Bit of a spring in her step now. She plays it back down the line, this one for Bennett. It's going to bounce, and Spadano did well there to win the free kick for Perth. Onions to take. Looking for Cook, doesn't get to her. But the header comes back out to Holtham for Duncanson. Inboard for Meekins, back to Spadano. Good touch from her, back to Onions. Just changes the flavour of this game now with Perth a goal down. Here's Contenabali. She's got Harvey in pursuit. In the end, she lost track of the ball, and Harvey was there to sweep it up. Henderson for Cook. Just looked to roll that around the corner for Duncanson. It didn't get her angles right. Morgan Aquino in goals. Just rolls it out for a centre half, who rolls it back for her. Over to the other Redback centre half. Kim Carroll down the line for Contenabali. She's got Wise Jarvis making a run on this near side. Didn't get the call. Stepping back and winning that one well there was Georgia Cawley. Cawley again there, just looking for Billum. But it ends up with Duncanson. Finds Spadano. He looked to lift it down the line for Henderson. But the Redbacks recover. DeLeo steps forward to prevent Contenabali getting on the end of it. Cawley back for Carroll. Back for Aquino. Carroll carries it forward. Carroll does well with the second touch, better than she did with the first. Redback still with the ball here. Contenabali just with DeLeo for company, just proving a little too strong. Good pressure from Melanie Douglas on Bennett. She got it away, and Duncanson has Henderson running down the line. Comes inside instead and plays it back for Cook. It's a good ball. She's got Betty running on to her right, and the pass cut out. And Carroll steps forward and launches the Redbacks counter-attack. That ball over the top is a good one. A chance here for Carroll to get her second on the day, her fourth on the year. She does. Well, after a slow start, mostly through lack of service, she has come alive, Sarah Carroll, and that was a wonderfully composed finish. The ball over the top was spectacular as well. Perfectly placed for her to run onto it, take a couple of touches, get her eyes up and just find that bottom right corner beyond Rebecca Bennett. It's been a fantastic 10 minutes for the Redbacks. They now lead by 2-0. Spadano got her head up and perhaps saw Aquino off her line. Looked like she just thought about that long one as Carroll just taking on all comers. Eventually the Redbacks win the ball back and clear. Henderson for Duncanson. Back to... Thought she was going back to Henderson, shape too, but in the end found a pass inboard for Holtham. Here's Henderson now. First time ball into the feet of Holtham from Onions. They work it around the corner. Duncanson just tried to flick it inside to no one in particular, but Perth get the rebound. Liana Cook refuses to give up on it. In the end, it falls nicely for Holtham. The Perth number 6 just plays it around for her captain, Duncanson. She could come inside. She decides to fire a shot on goal from a very speculative position. Probably not the right option there from the Perth number 20. They do expect better of her. She's one of their prime movers week in, week out. Certainly sets the tone with her direct running and attacking. Quino just carries that ball forward and rolls it confidently into the path of Kim Carroll. He looked there for the run of Carla Bennett in behind. It was cut out. And the Redbacks start again. That ball is a little wasteful. Holtham will take over. Duncanson again. Skips past Douglas. Will look to keep this one in. She does, but only manages to get across to the front post. Morgan Aquino comes out again and claims. Rolls it out for the restart to Billum. Back for Douglas. He's got a bit of space to run. Does well to get it into the feet of Carroll. Certainly after, as I mentioned, looking dangerous early on, she's, well, I wouldn't even say arguably been the best player on the pitch in this first half. The 2 goals to show for it. Wonderful dribbling there from Kontinabali. Just looking to feed Carroll there for her first half hat-trick. A lovely bit of dribbling there from Cheyenne Wise-Jarvis, but they do give the ball away, and Duncanson can look to play Henderson wide, and good defending in midfield. But the final whistle for the first half goes and leaves us at half-time with the score. Northern Redbacks 2, Perth 0. A brace for Sarah Carroll after a slow start for the Redbacks. They've fought their way back into this, just repeating the score. Northern Redbacks 2, Perth SC 0. And welcome back to Kingsway Reserve for the second half of this round 13 NPLW WA clash between the Redbacks and Perth SC. The home side wearing the red, kicking to the right of screen with a 2-goal advantage, leading 2-0. A Sarah Carroll brace, putting them in the ascendancy. I'm Sean Fry. I'll be calling the action for you for the rest of today. It's Melanie Douglas picks up the ball to take the throw in for the Redbacks. The Azuri certainly started the stronger of the two sides, had all the possession for the first 25, 30 minutes of the game. A couple of glimpses for the Redbacks, but it became the Sarah Carroll show for the final 15 minutes. 2 wonderful goals from her, the first cutting in on her left foot and curling a wonderful left foot ball over the keeper, as that one into the box claimed well by Rebecca Bennett. And then her second came from one of her runs in behind. Lovely ball into her path, took it in her stride and just calmly rolled the ball into the bottom right-hand corner of Rebecca Bennett's goal. So in the end, the league, to be fair, was lost earlier today when Murdoch put themselves 6 points clear with a healthy win over the Hyundai NTC side. Put them 6 points clear with Perth having 2 games to play and a vastly inferior goal difference. That ball long over the top. Morgan Aquino comes out and gathers. Douglas looking to find a bit of space on this near side. Rolled short for Teixeira. A little dink down the middle of the park, straight to the feet of Zoe Spadano. Meekins for Onions. Duncanson hugging the touchline, looks to feed Holtham inside. Back off a Redback head, flicked around the corner. Spadano will take over here. Gets her touch out in the feet of Betty. Back for Harvey, and her pass cut out by Sharon Wise-Jarvis. Nice touch and turn from Spadano. Into the feet of Cook. Back out for Betty. Back for Harvey. Numbers in the box. The ball gets in there now as well. Flicked over the top by Spadano, but no one in a blue shirt gambling on that and through to the hands of the keeper. Cook looking to close down and does well enough to force the turnover to Shera's pass. Only finds Spadano. She looks to get around a couple, but Redback skipper Sean Billum doing the job there. Certainly not the way this Perth SC wants to end their season. A loss to Curtin last week, another loss this week would turn what was a really good season. Saw them pushing for the title up to those last 2 weeks. And to lose your last 2 or 3 would be very disappointing. That throw from Mel Douglas was quite clearly a foul throw. Here's Henderson. It's for Duncanson, but the Redbacks take possession here. Billum's ball down the line. Looking for the substitute, Larissa Walsh. Obviously was a substitution at half-time. Try and do a little process of elimination and find out who was removed for you. But here is the substitute, Larissa Walsh, looking to scamper beyond Testaleo, but Perth number 13 had other ideas. Little question of a handball there from Harvey, but Jess Bird in perfect position to call it. Allows play to go on. Onions feeds Henderson, who looks to skip around her marker and wins a throw. The referee just wanting the Throw in taken from the right spot. Henderson does throw now, and St. Pierre had an arm out and it's caused a few groans from the bench. Jess Bird not interested. That ball for Henderson, she just misjudged. It's Danielle Brogan up off her seat. Not too happy with that call, I don't think, as ball flicked on from Spadano. Henderson looks to chip it down the line. In the eyes of the linesman, comes back off St. Pierre, back onto the Perth player and out for a Redback throw. Another foul throw there, almost, by St. Pierre. This one they get away with. Some nice dribbling there from Billum to get it back for Douglas. She finds Kim Carroll. Sarah, Larissa Walsh with her hand up in the air, calling for that one, and that one lipped over the top and into the back of the net. The Redbacks make it 3. Something out of nothing there for the Northern Redbacks, and what started so promisingly for Perth has turned into a bit of a hiding. Carla Bennett providing the finish there, just a loose ball, and this time Zoe Spadano does go for goal. Mentioned in the first half she had one where she looked like she was keeping one eye on the Redback goalkeeper. This time she thought she was far enough off her line to have a pop, but you've got to make the distance with the shot, even if the goalkeeper is off their line. There's a poor back pass from Nadia Harvey, just getting away with it as Bennett scrambled out of her net to get that clear. And boy, the home side have turned this around. That first 15 minutes or so of the game, it looked like they were in for a long day. Perth had all the possession and all the chances, and now it's 3-0. Scoreboard on the far side still saying 2. Someone's got to get that scoreboard worker to do their job. But we know it's 3. Redbacks 3, Perth 0. It's been a great day for them. Good turn there by Bennett, the scorer. Back for Billum, whose ball is poor in the direction of St. Pierre. Henderson rumbles on, but Perth turn it over. Here's Douglas. Duncanson. For Holtham, back for Henderson. Wonderful ball into the feet of Cook. She does well to hold it up. She has Holtham in support. Uses her now. Spadano's got Harvey wide. Harvey's head up in behind. If Grace Betty was gambling on that, she might have got there. But just in that forward third, the Perth SC girls just not on the same page and haven't really been for most of the day. Certainly controlled large portions of the game, but here's another chance. And it's Bennett again in behind. She's got the substitute Walsh inside her. It comes back out for Douglas, who scoops that one over the top. It's Perth just getting cut to ribbons at the back. It's a wonderful finish, that third goal from Carla Bennett. She didn't really look like she had that much on and just scooped it over the top of the keeper into the back of the net. And you would suggest has pretty much put this one to bed as a contest. Certainly need a lot of late drama if Perth are going to be getting anything out of this game. Perhaps those couple of Sarah Carroll goals combined with the fact that Murdoch University Melville did wrap up the league earlier today has knocked the stuffing out of them a little. Hard to keep going when you're on the rack like they are. But here they go. Henderson with a bit of grass in front of her. Confronted by St. Pierre. She'll turn back. Here's Duncanson looking for that direct line to goal. Into Meekins. Looks to roll it in the path of Holtham. Cut out. And the Redbacks look to relaunch. Spadano recovers in midfield though. Holtham under pressure from Corley. And just stepping in and clearing there is Andrea Teixeira. Harvey with the throw for Holtham. Back to Harvey. Dangerous ball into the box there, just curling onto the 6-yard area, but cleared. Walsh just can't get the ball opposed to Testaleo. Abbey wants Henderson again. Duncanson ahead. Nice little drag back. She'll look to take on St Pierre, you'd think. She does, but St Pierre gets a toe in, does really well. Things just not working for Perth at the moment. Walsh, first touch, tries to bring it under. Second touch, flicks it down the line to no one. Onions recovers. DeLeo finds Meekins with a bit of space. Onions just feeds it in the feet of Spadano. Holtham had evacuated that area and she's got Akers now. Cook ahead of her, and really you'd think she should have used that option, and that's what Liana Cook's turning around to say now. Just a bit of a lack of awareness at a couple of centre halves that had split or stepped up. And Cook's run in behind. Perhaps the call wasn't as loud as it should have been. And Perth will also have a substitution. It looks like it was Sarah Carroll that came off at half-time for Larissa Walsh for the Redbacks. Now for Perth, it'll be Grace Betty making way. Melissa Shepherd, number 12 for the Azzurri, coming on to take up that right-wing position. Looks like or perhaps a little shake-up. Looks like Henderson's moved forward to the wing. Duncanson switched sides, which means I'd expect Melissa Shepherd to be one of the two in midfield with Meekins and Spadano dropping in behind. At least that's how they're lining up. Henderson battling, but losing the ball. DeLeo winning it back. And now Billum winning it back. Former league best and fairest Sean Billum. Poor throw there from St Pierre. Cut out by Henderson. Spadano now. Holtham just dribbling, coming back for Spadano. Just finding a lot of the ball in this second half. Onions very wide. Back for Spadano, look to turn it around the corner for Meekins, but ill-directed. And Meekins will just put a toe in on Sean Billum. Redback throw, St Pierre to take again. Just down the line looking for Douglas. Throw in. First touch from Onions was delightful into the path of, straight into the feet of Meekins. He goes via the substitute, Shepherd, to Harvey. Looking for Duncanson out the other side, but they've turned it over. Spadano again stepping in to get the ball back for Perth. Here's Holtham rumbling forward, or rather Shepherd, the substitute it is. Finds Holtham. Cook back for Meekins. Likes a dig from range. He's had a couple today, but neither as successful as that wonder strike against Balcatta earlier in the year. Way back in round 2, that was. Sequino long, nice flick on from Bennett for Walsh, who looked to play it into the path of Kontinabali, but rolled under her foot. There's Duncanson trying to feed Holtham, but Kim Carroll read that. She plays Kontinabali down the line She's got Harvey for company. You look to stand her up. Comes inside, does well to beat her marker. Doesn't have the support she needs though, so she looks to go back around Duncanson and can't do so. The Perth captain winning the ball back for her teammate, but the pass down the line looking for Cook was poor. And the Redbacks reload. 3-goal lead. 3-0 lead for the hosts. Hard to believe that this would have been the scoreline in the first half. Even before the game, you wouldn't have expected this, and that is a terrible pass out from Bennett. I'm not sure who she was looking for. Shepherd did well to snuff out the danger, and she does well again there. Referee allowing play to go on. Slow to get up the Redbacks midfielder, but Perth not wasting any time. Duncanson looks to get a ball into the box. She hits in with a lot of power, but not a lot of direction into the side netting. So as things stand, it looks like the Redbacks will get that first win in 5 games. It's been a barren run for them, and a good bit of bodywork there from Teixeira. Henderson presses and forces the ball back to the Redbacks keeper. His clearance is only as far as Spadano. Looks to get it into the feet of Meekins, gets it back. And just again, that final ball, looking for that run that wasn't there. Just struggled to carve out any real chances, the visitors. It's been a tough day for them. Controlled the game early, but since then, well, since that first Sarah Carroll goal, really, they've fallen away markedly. Still getting enough of the ball, but just mistakes like that one there from Zoe Spadano. Just allowing the Redbacks in, and just not a really committed team defensive performance from the Azzurri as St Pierre clatters that one into Henderson and wins her team a throw, much to the raucous applause of the home fans. St Pierre with the throw, looking for Walsh. DeLeo got a toe in. Shepherd looks to turn, but Meekins gave it away. Douglas just harassed by Zoe Spadano. Won the ball back well, and now Holtham and St Pierre can do battle. The ball eventually comes out for Douglas and skips off her foot out for a Perth throw. Onions will take it. So Jenna Onions has moved to left back as part of a reshuffle. Looks like DeLeo and Harvey will be the 2 centre halves, as Walsh looks to cut inside Spadano, but not an easy player to get around Zoe Spadano. She's tenacious in the tackle for a player with such a small frame. Henderson gets a touch on that, comes back for Onions, plays it back for DeLeo, who's back pass for Bennett. Puts her under a bit of pressure. Her clearance was poor. Walsh cuts it out, and Spadano again putting herself about, but Walsh holds her off. Shepherd clatters into her. The ball ends up rolling into the path of... Well, it looked like it was rolling into the path of Walsh for a moment. But Bennett came out and claimed. Just dropping in and battling with Wise Jarvis there was Duncanson. Unable to retrieve possession for Perth. They'll get it back now. Onions stepping forward well to read that. Walsh. Looking for Billum. Meekins put a foot in. Redback throw. St Pierre's throw. Brought down well by Douglas. Just looking to roll it into the legs of Walsh, but just couldn't locate the ball. And Perth come away Duncanson for Shepherd for Cook. And back out wide to the skipper. Wonderful touch around her marker out there, and she'll cut inside. But just losing the ball at that last touch. Perth continuing this second half to have plenty of the ball, but just nothing coming with it. Solid defensive performance at the back for the Redbacks. So a little push under the ball there, picked out by the linesman. A real position of some promise for Perth here. Right in the corner of that 18-yard box. Perfect spot for Jamie Duncanson to just curl one across the 6-yard box, shape it away from the goalkeeper and see if anyone can get a touch on it. Duncanson does just that. Curls it in onto the penalty spot, and attempted clearance from Wise Jarvis. Didn't get enough on it. Came back out to Meekins, who had another pop from range. That's her third today. The first two a little tame, straight to the goalkeeper. This one shanked well wide. Second substitution coming up now for the Redbacks. It'll be Emma McMurdo. So McMurdo on, Douglas off. And it looks like Emma McMurdo is going straight to the heart of that front three. She'll lead the line for the remainder of this one. Duncanson cutting inside, squaring it wonderfully for Meekins, who rattles the crossbar. She'll go again. And this time it's the foot of Kim Carroll that prevents the goal. Last time it was Morgan Aquino's crossbar into the box. Continabali with nowhere to go, just clears it out towards the line. Duncanson, dangerous ball in. Aquino comes and claims confidently. Wonderful strike there from Abby Meekins with her fourth shot of the day. She had her fifth one very quickly afterwards. Scrambling across to cut that one out is Nadia Harvey. That's really well read. St. Pierre just flirting with the foul throw again there. Walsh just gets her hands up to smother that one. Within the frame of her body, so the referee opts to just play the throw. Onions looking to take the throw quickly, finds Meekins, just rolls it through the legs there of Corley and gets it out for Shepherd. The substitute decides to have a pop from 25 yards, comes off a foot and rolls to the feet of the Redback stopper. Just waits for the pressure there from Holtham before kicking it long. On the bounce, a little battle in the air there between Bennett and Shepherd. Comes down Perth's way and they win themselves a free kick. DeLeo just pops it into the box. It flicked on header by Shepherd. Aquino just scrambling out to get that before Cook can tap in the rebound. A very quiet second half from Leona Cook. Up front for Perth, just hasn't been able to get herself into the game. Mind you, that was what I said about Sarah Carroll before she banged in a brace in the first half. So that ball is just a wonderful ball in behind there. And the finish is almost as good from Larissa Walsh. Just got a touch and dribbled wide. But the ball from the substitute, Emma McMurdo, was an absolute peach, cutting in Just threading that between centre half and left back. McMurdo just could not quite find the back of the net. And the touch from Bennett was enough to turn it around. It will be a Redbacks corner. In the box over the top of most of the blue shirts. Ended up getting directed on goal, but not with any sort of pace. Well done by Wise Jarvis there, stepping in the way of that one. Getting it clear, flicked around by Walsh. That's delightful, but the whistle has blown. Still not sure what the decision was there, but it'll be a Redbacks ball. I thought the play could have gone on as Walsh just flicked that one over Holtham and looked like she was on her way. Carroll's ball is long and headed towards goal, but wide. Carla Bennett it was, turning it wide of the left-hand post. Scored the third today, Carla Bennett, and lovely little lob with her right foot. And here is Liana Cook looking to get involved. Trying to feed Holtham. Holtham does get there in the end and goes down in the box. The flag is up. And the flag is ignored by Jess Bird. DeLeo steps forward and cleared. It looks like in the eyes of the linesman that was a foul, but Jess Bird had a very good view of it and decided there wasn't enough contact. That was my first thought, is that the Perth striker just went down a little bit easily. Duncanson just throws a foot at that and picks out Meekins. Couldn't have done better if she tried. Gets it back. Perth would be pretty hard done by to not score at least one today. They've probably done enough to justify it, as that ball in from Duncanson is absolutely superb. Shepherd fires and Shepherd misses wide of the left post. Well, they've shown a few moments of quality here, the Azzurri, but they have been too few and far between. And a third sub for Perth SC. It will be Abby Meekins making way. Jessica Byrne coming on. So we've got a Jessica Byrne in 19 for Perth, and we've got a Jessica Bird in yellow with the whistle. I'll do my best to not get those two mixed up. Aquino's goal kick is well directed. Bennett looks to flick it around, doesn't get anything on it. Comes through to McMurdo, but she's robbed of it by DeLeo. Finds the feet of her captain, who looks for Cook. Cook's just got Carroll right up her backside as she did before in that penalty shout. And the Redbacks win the ball back. Wonderful dribbling there from Kontinabali. Look to get the ball there through to Walsh. Difficult pass. And Sean Billham does well to take the ball off the most recent substitute, Jessica Byrne, but just can't play that ball out in front of her without going over the touchline. Onions takes the throw quickly, and dribbling with a bit of strength is Holtham. Henderson's got a bit of space. Left foot ball is again dangerous. It'll sit for Duncanson. She's got Byrne at the edge of the area. She looks to pull it back for her, but she's pulled it back too far. Luckily for her, Spadano's there, as is Harvey. They get it back to Duncanson. Yeah, she just wanted to take a touch there around Wise Jarvis, didn't she? But just got it all wrong again. Certainly been involved a lot. Jamie Duncanson's just been their most consistent attacking outlet, but just hasn't quite had that final ball. She did have that final ball in the first half, with the best chance probably of the game still for Perth. That Liana Cook just headed that one wide from about 6 yards, unmarked. How different the day could have been if Perth had have gone 1-0 up then. As it is, they find themselves 3-0 down with a lot of work to do. Here's Spadano looking to chip away at that lead. This with the outside of the right foot, and I'll tell you what, if Duncanson hadn't given up on that as quickly as she did, sat in a perfect position for it. Perhaps tired legs to blame for that. As we head into the final quarter of an hour here. Redbacks with a handy lead, 3-0 lead. As that one's nodded down from Cook to an offside Jamie Duncanson. And the Redbacks in no rush at all to get the game restarted here. Fantastic performance today from Conrad McKelvey's side. They sucked up the early pressure, hit a couple of times on the counter-attack. And then Carla Bennett just put the icing on the cake, as that one in behind is a close call. But Kontinabali is onside. She's got Walsh arriving at the back post. She doesn't see her. And in the end, doesn't get a pass or a shot away of any description. And that was a good chance. It was questionable on the offside, but the flag stayed down. Cook Scott Henderson making a run at the back post. Decides to try and play Duncanson down the line, but it ends up with Carroll. Here's Kontinabali again. Back for Wise Jarvis, back for Kontinabali. Nice little step over there in midfield. That final ball well wide and in Jenna Onion's hands now. Sean Billum opposed to Jess Byrne there. The former coming out with the ball, but they turn it over quickly on the throw. Holtham was to roll it for Byrne. They're stepping out and taking that one away well there is Teixeira. Runs into Spadano, who wants the throw to go her way. And after some consultation, linesman and referee decide it's a Perth throw. Henderson does well. Gets past St. Pierre, gets a wonderful ball into the box, just whipped across that 6-yard box, but just half a step behind. Had a trio of Cook, Shepherd and Duncanson all arriving at the same time. Just needed one of them getting there just a fraction of a second earlier. It's been the story of the day for Perth. Decent performance all around the pitch, but just none of those decisive moments. It's Wise Jarvis with a bit of body work to see that one out. Morgan Aquino just suggesting perhaps that Perth players flopping to the ground a little bit easily. Aquino looks long. Kontinabali has it go through her feet, and Harvey claims, finds Duncanson, but Perth captain just dribbles the ball out of play. Certainly taking their time on this throw in the Redbacks. It took all that time and threw it straight to Spadano. They have got it back though. McMurdo, the substitute there, just looking to dribble her way into an attacking position. He's tackled in the end, but the Redbacks will have the throw. McMurdo loses out to Duncanson, but her clearance is out for another throw for the Redbacks. And another substitution coming up for the Redbacks. A nice moment for Caitlin Balenka, up from the under-23s. She'll get 10 minutes or so with the first team. Substitution on the far side. Wise Jarvis, I believe, walking off over there. And it is Caitlin Balenka on. Cheyenne Wise Jarvis to make way. Here's a chance for Cook. Opposed to Carroll. Carroll does well. Solid body work. But Aquino's clearance is straight to Duncanson. Rolls it into the path of Shepherd. She looks to get past Carroll, and she can't do it either. It's been a superb performance from Kim Carroll at the back. It was a superb performance from Sarah Carroll up front that set the Redbacks on their way. Holtham for Duncanson. In for Spadano. Back post for Henderson, just over her head. She'll scramble to get it back. And looked like she'd seen that one over. The linesman's flag is up. And the whistle eventually blows. St. Pierre with the throw in for Bennett. She looks to flick it around the corner, but Onions cuts it out. Here's Byrne. Rolling it for Holtham. Under pressure from St. Pierre, she goes down and wins herself a free kick on this occasion. Just looked like she wanted it more there and got her body in front. Fair enough decision from the referee. So Jessica Bird will mark out the wall. Jessica Byrne will take the free kick. Looking like they'll just go for a bit of a chaos ball here. Right footer into the box, into a crowd of players. Do exactly that, but no one standing in front of the goalkeeper there, which is a strange decision, but certainly indicative of the way Perth have been in that final third. Just not quite the cohesive unit they have been at other times this year. Harvey rolls it for Holtham. He's got Duncanson making a run outside of her. Uses her now. Comes inside Walsh. Good touch. Carroll's there again, as she has been for most of these 90 minutes. Perth look for a consolation goal at this stage. Duncanson rolls it back for Harvey. It's her ball into the box. It skips past the Redback on the edge of the area. Taleo back to drill that loose ball back to Bennett in goal for Onions. Henderson with a bit of space to pick out a pass. She does a wonderful ball there around the corner for Cook, but Cook not quite with the legs. Still enough to win a throw. Teixeira clears. And Perth running out of time to get that consolation goal if they are going to get it. Holtham for Henderson. Henderson's ball into the box is good. Flicking that header on target is Shepherd, but always difficult with those balls moving away from goal. Had to stoop a little, and when you're in that position you have to generate all the power yourself. Not that I know anything about that. I've never been a striker in my life, but it was a good effort just to get it on target, I thought. St. Pierre's throw cut out by Henderson. Nice ball from Spadano. Back to the left winger. Holtham comes inside and Cook's touch is a little loose. She looks tired and leggy. She doesn't. This is Shepherd throwing herself at a Quino clearance. As Cooley turns that one into Bennett. They just can't quite link up the way they had it drawn up. Here's Onions. Nice touch there from Jenna Onions. Looks to play that ball down the line. Wonderful, wonderful play there from the Albany native. Here's Henderson. Cutting back inside. And in the end, that's poor from Henderson. Teixeira clears. Off the back of the Perth number 11, and the Redbacks will run down the clock. St. Pierre's looked a little bit questionable on the throw-ins, but when she's looked longer, it's been a lot better. That one to Bennett was a good throw. Bennett just couldn't control, and Perth with a chance to go forward there. Holtham's run not honoured in the end by Cook. Byrne, a couple of touches to turn back. Shepherd. Wide for Harvey. She's got Duncanson down the line. Opts to use her, but again they turn it over. Redbacks with a chance to go, but Shepherd ends that with a big tackle. And the free kick will be going Perth's way. I think the challenge there from Kontinabali just judged to be a little bit late. Despite the fact she came off certainly second best. Shepherd was in hard, in early and won the ball. And the free kick honouring that effort. DeLeo looks long into the box onto the head of Cook. Doesn't quite reach Cook, and the Redbacks can come away. Here's Balanka. Looking back, and this time Henderson winning possession off Teixeira and firing at the bottom corner. Doesn't go. Wonderful save from Aquino, and the follow-up cleared by the Redbacks. The home fans erupt once more. Certainly plenty of them to cheer, plenty for them to cheer today. It's been an excellent performance from the hosts. There will be one more change to be made by the Redbacks at least. Emily Roach, another of the under-23s, getting a warm welcome onto the pitch today. Job done by the senior team, and a chance for the likes of Roach and Balanka to maybe get a touch or two. The referee and linesman just consulting perhaps on how many substitutions have been taken and how many are allowed at the moment. Who knows these days? COVID's just ruined everything, hasn't it? McMurdo did well there to get the ball down the line for Kontinabali. Opposed to DeLeo. He had the pace, but DeLeo had the nous and got her body in the way. It was grabbed and dragged back by the Redbacks number 12, and again just a little late to the tackle. That time it was Roach, the substitute. They get away with it, and play goes on. Duncanson for Holtham, a little overhit and a little ill-directed, and Shepherd looks to put her body on the line and get the ball back, but she just can't. They have been tenacious today, the Redbacks. Certainly not lacking in bite. Carroll just strides forward. She's been superb today. She could end the day with an assist if Kontinabali can get onto it. That was close. That was very close. The flag is up. It is offside, and Kontinabali will not get her chance to make this 4. Holtham's touch is loose. Roach just feeds a teammate there, and the Redbacks, as a team, haven't given up on the 4th. Walsh just trying to get by Harvey there. Can't do so, but wins a corner. Not long left in this one. In truth, it was probably over as a contest when Carla Bennett found the back of the net not long into the second half. From there, it's been a disciplined, controlled performance. That Kingsway reserve from the home side. This ball into the box looking for Kontinabali. DeLeo at the front post. Heads it away. And they'll try again. It's just a perfect performance all round. What you want to see as a coach, really get those couple of goals in the first half, ice it early in the second, and get a few of the youngsters on for a run. Walsh jogs over to offer the short option. That's ignored, into the box, and Redbacks outnumbered there by about 6 blue shirts to 3. Teixeira just cushions it down, plays it forward for Billum. She looks to flick it around the corner for the substitute, Belanca. Belanca's ball in the box is teasing. Had Bennett scrambling and a little worried, I'm sure, when it bounced, but in the end she got there. Teixeira getting there ahead of Holtham. Can only get it back as far as Shepherd. Henderson with St. Pierre to run at. She takes it wide and gets the ball to the back post. Duncanson will fetch. Shepherd arriving on the edge of the area. She'll look to get a ball back in, but blocked once again by Kim Carroll. Byrne retrieves. Lovely little turn, and in the end, had a few hearts in mouths. Good tackle from Georgia Cawley in the end, right on the edge of the area. Is there time for Perth to get that consolation goal? Holtham looks to dribble past 2, but Redbacks sticking to their task. Here's Onions for Henderson. Henderson's ball into the box is dangerous, but cut out by Carroll. She has just been everywhere in that back 4, Kim Carroll. This one just fired on target. Not very much off target. But why not as a defender? I think was the thought there from Nadia Harvey. Don't get too many chances, so when you're 3-0 down with no time left, you might as well take one. Aquino will load up and look long. Kontinabali can't control. Comes back for Shepherd. Perth perhaps with one more chance. Shepherd leaves the ball behind. And comes back for Harvey. DeLeo's dropping off for the safe option. Onions now doing the same on the far side. DeLeo steps inside and goes back to Harvey. Looks to find Duncanson. Does just enough to take the speed off it for her teammate to control. Gets into the feet of Cook. Cook holds off Carroll, and Carroll now gets over to pressure Duncanson's ball in, and that'll be all Aquino's, and claims comfortably and confidently, and just about sees us through to the final whistle, you'd think. The referee looks at her watch. And there it is, the final whistle on a wonderful day for the Northern Redbacks. Their fans erupt. They will get a very warm reception on their way off the pitch. These girls, they have been fantastic today. It all started with a Sarah Carroll brace in the first half. The first cutting in on her left foot from the edge of the area and just whipping a ball over the top of Bennett and into the back of the net. The second showed all the composure in the world when she was played in behind from about 40 yards out. A lot of time, a lot of thinking to do, and she rolled it into the bottom corner. A Carla Bennett chip at the start of the second half rounded off the scoring, and from there, it was a professional performance, a disciplined performance, led by particularly Kim Carroll, number 7 at the back. She was superb and got her clean sheet. It ends here today. Northern Redbacks 3, Perth SC 0.